Hey guys. Ooh, it's so spooky in here. So, yeah, I'm flying solo tonight just because I couldn't get anyone who's free tonight, and I just need to get this one done, so, because I missed it last week. So, yeah, I figured I saw the first one by myself, too, so it kind of makes sense. I see the second one, I guess, prequel by myself, too, for context, I guess. So, yeah, this is Annabelle Origins. I'm trying to remember, I guess I could talk about my feelings about the first one. Honestly, I don't even really remember the first one very much. I remember bits and pieces. I remember, the best one of the film. I remember that one scare in the first one that I thought was actually genuinely pretty good. And I'm gonna bring it up really quick. It's going to talk about it when it comes to the prequel, too, because there's a few moments that are reminiscent of that moment, which is a good thing. General thoughts about Annabelle Origins right off the bat. It's okay. Better than the first one. There are definitely a lot of improvements over the first one. Still a lot of tropes, still a lot of cliches, still a lot of things that annoyed me, but it got a couple genuinely good scares out of me. A couple of unintentional laughs, so I already got more out of this than I did the first Annabelle movie. There's a callback to the first Annabelle movie at the very end, which I had to remind myself of because I completely forgot all of it, except for the one good scare in the first one. Which, for those who don't remember the first one, and I would not blame you if you don't. I would not blame you if you don't remember the first one. There's a part in the movie where I don't even remember the context of what was happening, but I know the main character, one of the secondary characters, is walking down a dark hallway, and they just turn a corner, and there's this dark shadow, this demon thing, that isn't moving, it's not doing anything, it's just standing there in a crouched position, just staring at him. And they hold that for a couple seconds. That's the best scene in the first fucking movie. There's no reason for it. The demon is never referred to before or after that scene in the first movie. It's just there, and you don't know what the fuck it's gonna do. And there's that unease that entire time. It's actually a really well done scene. Then the rest of the movie was just cliche nonsense. This one tries to get more of those kind of scenes in there. That being said, it cops out a lot. For something that's supposed to be a horrifying killing doll thing, it really sucks at its one job. I think it kills 2 people in this entire movie, and then massively fails to kill literally anyone else when it very easily could have, including one major cop-out that pissed me off. And now, granted, if they didn't cop out, the rest of the movie couldn't happen. But at the time, I was disappointed because okay, let me back up. So the concept of this movie is that it shows, obviously, based on the title of the movie, the origins of the doll Annabelle from the Conjuring series, and of course the first Annabelle movie, and it starts off with this doll maker who's making this commissioned doll that's supposed to be the Annabelle doll, which kind of made me chuckle to myself because I'm wait, you designed that thing on purpose? Okay. So they make the Annabelle doll, and it's him, his wife, and his daughter. Now, right off the bat, you pretty much know the daughter's gonna die. And I don't really think I'm giving anything away. You can figure it out within the first 5 seconds. Leads to a big problem with this movie, the fact that a majority of what happens and the big scares in the movie are massively predictable, which is something you kind of expect from a movie like this, especially a franchise horror movie. There are a few moments that buck the trends a little bit, or at least was the movie's at its best when I can't predict by the second what's going to happen. And it happens a couple times, to give it credit. There are a couple of there's one sequence in particular I thought was actually pretty good, up to a point. And I'll work my way to that. So anyway, shenanigans happen, the daughter dies, and it flash forwards 12 years later, I think. Which I guess the number 12 is significant in this series for some reason, but I don't know why or how. Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, after this tragedy happens, the doll maker decides to open his mansion up as an orphanage. So the sister is a Catholic a Catholic orphanage. So the sister brings in all these different girls to live at this makeshift orphanage. to kind of give them luxury and all that stuff. 2 of which are clearly over the age of 20, and they're trying to pass it off like underage girls. And I'm thinking, like, you aren't fooling fucking anyone. Those are women in their 20s. Why are they still in an orphanage? But I digress. I take it back. No. I'm gonna get back to these ladies. I'm gonna talk to these ladies for a second first, because, like, they are such bitches through majority of the first half of the movie that it's pretty clear they were originally written in this movie to die, and spoiler, they never do. They survive the entire fucking movie. So, like, what was the point of making them such goddamn bitches then? That doesn't, what? Okay, I mean, like the one time you could have followed the horror cliche, it would have been okay, you could have killed the bitches. Because they're just mean, they're vindictive, they're gossipy, they take up way too much goddamn screen time. And it feels like, I don't know, it feels like somebody pussed out when writing the script for this, because it feels like a lot of people should have died and they didn't. Majority of them being the orphan girls. Maybe that's why they pussed out. I don't know. Either way, this movie could have benefited from a pair of balls. No pun intended. Oh God, I made a horrible joke. That is not the joke I meant. Not the joke I meant. Kind of great though. Kind of wish this is what I meant, but I digress. So, the movie revolves around this girl, whose name I forget, but she had, like, polio or something, and she can't walk right. She has, like, the leg brace, and she walks around using it in, like, an arm, I don't know what you call those little things where you attach it to your arm, like a cane. Let's call it a cane. If you know what the technical term is, please let me know in the comments, because I want to get the terminology right. So either way, she's kind of the outcast of the group because of her disability, and she has one friend who's the girl from Ouija 2, which I thought was great. Because she's like, to give this girl credit, she's the first one that figures out that shit's going wrong outside the main character, and she's like, she still makes stupid mistakes, but at least there are parts where, like, I need to get the fuck, like, when shit goes wrong in the haunted room where the doll is, she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. You could stay in here. I'm getting the fuck out. I'm taking this little plastic gun with me. And she actually takes it with her. It's like, all right, smart. There are a few moments like that where it's like, okay, at least there's somebody's following through on the obvious thing to do in this movie. So, yeah. They're exploring the house, so it turns out that the wife had an accident years ago, which you could pretty much guess was from the doll. And she stays secluded in the master bedroom with her husband. Meanwhile, their daughter's old room is under a lock and key, and they're strictly told not to go in there. So one night, the main girl, who again I don't, Blondie 1, I'm gonna call her Blondie 1, gets a mysterious note from what you can only assume is the ghostly presence, telling her to find me, because it's a callback to when she used to play that game with her father. Which, like, okay, that was kind of clever. I'll give her credit. That was kind of clever. A little creepy that your daughter is developing that kind of horror movie trope that early, but whatever. Apparently it paid off. The serial killer ghost career really worked for her. I'm sorry, my timing's not right now. I'm really tired. It's been a really long week, and I'm fucking sleepy. And I've been playing a lot of Hellblade lately, so I've been really just soaked up in the horror world for way too long. And then while she's in there, she finds the Annabelle doll. And to give credit, responds appropriately, which she doesn't say it. I wish she did, but she opens the door, sees the Annabelle doll, looks at it, and just goes, nope, and then just closes the door. And then the door opens back up again, like magically. And then she does a smart thing, because she found a key that opens this door. And the door opens, she looks at it, closes it, then locks it, and then turns around again. And then it opens again, and then what did she do after that? Oh yeah, she covered the doll in a sheet. At that point, I was ran out of the fucking room, because at that point, like, nope. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Here's the problem with the big first half of the movie, and this is something I've noticed a lot. Ooh, creepy ladies, creepy. Oh no, the Annabelle doll has found me. The big problem with the first half of the movie is it does that thing in horror movies where it's too afraid to really build up the second half or when shit actually starts happening. So it does all these cock tease jump scares that don't add anything, that just distract from try to distract from the fact that nothing's happening, and it's too afraid to rely on atmosphere and writing and acting to build up to the second half, like in The Babadook or Exorcist. But no, it's one of those stupid modern I can't talk today. What the hell is wrong with me? It's one of those dumb Hollywood tropes where they feel like the audience in these horror movies are too dumb or too impatient not to be going, every 5 seconds. So every time you're gonna go, boom, a door opens up, or boom, this happens, or boom, that happens, and nothing is accomplished. Nothing actually happens. It's just there so dumb teenage girls go, in the back of the theater. It's obnoxious. It's an obnoxious trope. And it's like, no, you can have good scares here where you need to build them up. And when it does actually build them up, they're decent. They're not great, but they're decent. Like, I was like, okay, this is kind of spooky. But no, it has scenes where, like, the door opens for no reason. I was like, okay, we get it. There's something weird about this house. You could do that once or twice, but it does like every 10 minutes because, again, it's afraid to let you have to let you use your imagination to figure out what's going on. It has to go woo, woo, woo every few seconds. Like it's like distracting a baby with a rattle. It's a trope I don't like. It's a trope I don't like. And it does. No, it's like the third act is really jump scary, and I'll get to that in a little while. So what was I talking about? Okay, yeah, so she finds the Annabelle doll, and after that, shit starts getting more and more weird, and, yeah, it's pretty clear that Annabelle is targeting, Blondie 1 for whatever reason, because they think she's the weakest or whatever. And it culminates in a scene that was actually pretty good, or at least good, until they cop the fuck out. And that is, before this happens, they establish that to get up the stairs, there's one of those mechanical chairs that goes down and down to the bottom and goes back up. And so one night, Blondie 1 goes to their best friend, Blondie 2, or Ouija Girl. And Ouija Girl figures out something's up pretty fucking fast, probably because she's dealt with a Ouija board before, and she gets the fuck out of Dodge. Meanwhile, Blondie 1 stays in the room, and she sees the actual, like, doll, like, the girl that the doll, the ghost, the actual ghost. Not the doll, but the ghost standing by the window. And, naturally, she's kind of taken aback. She's like, okay, but still stupid enough to see where this goes. So, this leads to what, again, was a genuinely good, I don't want to say scare, but at least creepy in the way that it was aesthetically handled and the pacing of it. And the use of lighting was clever. In that she goes like, can you help me? Or something creepy like that. And she goes, what do you need? And then the girl turns around with the, like, pitch black face, demon claws, and goes, your soul! Like, just in that voice. I mean, it's still CGI splooge, so it still kind of took me out of it a bit, but at the same time, I liked the design, and it was just unexpected enough. I was like, ooh, okay. Because you knew something was gonna happen. That was the point. I was like, okay, it caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting what actually ended up happening. Because what sets up right before that moment, before the little girl appears, is Blondie 1 is looking at this really fancy dollhouse, and she sees something stand, like, right in front of her, right in front of it. So you look up, and you're expecting, like, the Annabelle doll is gonna be the one standing there, but no, it's the little girl. It's like, okay, I didn't see that coming, so where else is it going? And then it goes to demon face, evil claws, gonna get you. Okay, I didn't see that coming either. Because at that point, they haven't shown any demons yet. And so then she runs out of the room, or hobbles out of the room as fast as she can. And this is where things get a little goofy, unintentionally goofy, in that she decides to get down the stairs instead of, like, I don't know, I feel like with the way her leg was, she probably could have hobbled down the stairs fine. It would have taken a little longer, but it would have been better than trying to rely on a crappy chair. So she sits in the chair, and the darkness, to give credit, which is creepy, is slowly consuming the room. It doesn't use a lot of CGI, just enough to get the point across, and the darkness just taking over the room, and that's kind of a cool visual effect. And she's like frantically trying to get the stupid chair to work, and she's going bzzz, as this giant like dark scene's going. And it's actually making noise. It's just slowly creeping towards her, which again, a good effect. But the stupid chair then stops halfway, and then it just starts going back up. She's freaking out. She's like, "It won't work. I'm thinking, yelling, unbuckle the fucking seat and just hobble. You can hobble. You haven't lost use for your legs yet." Spoiler. And then this leads to the moment where, in my opinion, it copped out. Like it was kind of a cop out. Now again, to be fair, if it did do what I originally thought it did, it would have made the rest of the movie fairly impossible, at least what happens. I don't know, you felt like you could have felt a clever way to do it. But the chair goes up, it looks quiet for a second, and then the demon takes her up and then throws her back, like just takes her up, and then a boot falls to the floor. And Alon paws and shoes, and I'm thinking, did they just kill off the main character? Because if they did, that's pretty ballsy. And if it did that, like gone the psycho route, it's like, all right, even this movie's not great, at least it took risk. At least it took chances. At least it actually did something different that I haven't seen in one of these horror movies in a long time. Like, that would have been really good. That would have been really clever. But nope, girl falls down. It's like, okay, surely she didn't survive that, right? Nope, she's crippled now. She's in a wheelchair. It's like, well, that just seems like a wasted opportunity. The wasted opportunity, and then it goes right up to the Ouija 2 plot where the little girl gets possessed, and then she starts hunting people. Badly, I should point out. Very badly, which inexplicably badly, because again, she kills like her parents so fucking easily. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, moving right along. Fuck. No, to me, like, that was the one that pissed me. I was like, oh, man, you could have really subverted expectations. You really could have shown that anyone is expendable, that anyone can die, that we are not just going to follow the standard rules of this genre. We're going to try something different. But instead, it just kind of goes the route you expect a movie like this to go, and it's just, it takes away the sense of risk. It takes away the chance of stakes, because, like, none of these people are going to die, and they don't. Nobody dies except the parents. That's like, they're cannon fodder. Nobody cares if they die. You could have been a contender. Could have been a contender. Even if it failed, it would have been a ballsy fucking move, and I would have respected it for that. But no, it cops out. I mean, I guess she still technically dies, but I don't know. I feel like it would have been better if she was just gone from the movie completely at that point, because again, that would have been ballsy. But, I digress. So, this is where movie kind of becomes a hit and miss at certain areas, because on one hand, stuff is actually happening at this point. On the other hand, a lot of it, especially in the third act, relies on jump scares and characters making stupid decisions. Like, I don't know, going into the barn when you see a scarecrow come to life? Really? Okay. And again, she still somehow survives, even though there's no reason she should have. Because, I'm not even going to get into it. I'll get to it later. But one other thing I will say that was fairly consistently scary is whenever the black demon comes out. Because usually it never really shows you the full thing, not in like good lighting. It shows it in bits, in glimpses. Like you'll see like a claw, or you see its teeth, or you see like a glimpse of its face, or you see like the white of its eyes. That stuff is legitimately creepy because one, it's practical effects. It's not CGI splooge, and there's a genuine effort to maintain suspense and mystery, and that's what worked well in that one scene in the first Annabelle movie. Is you never got a clear look at it. You didn't know what his intention was. You just knew it was there, and it was and you knew it was up to no good. That's all you knew about it. And to be fair, you still don't learn a whole lot about it in this movie either, which I kind of like. I don't really want an explanation what the demon thing is. It's just a demon that's possessing this doll for whatever reason. So whenever they showed that, I was like, okay, there's good effort here. Although somehow it was in two places at once at one point. So I don't really know how that works, but I'm like just gonna gloss past that because it doesn't really matter. It did, before all that happens, and that's mostly the third act where this happens, and like once in a flashback sequence. So I liked it when that appeared. Here's what didn't work for me, is, especially towards the end, it starts to follow a very rigid formula. In fact, the entire movie follows this rigid formula, and it makes the movie really predictable for majority of the scares. With the one scene I've described being like one of the couple exceptions, even though it still technically follows the trope, but it did it in a way that I didn't see coming. But mostly it follows this trope. There's a long stretch of silence, and the characters slowly looking around, doing things like, these characters do a lot of things that you only do because you're in a horror movie. Like, there's a scene when like one of the 20-something-year-old orphans goes up to a scarecrow, and she acts like it's flirting with her, but she doesn't do like a normal person would, who would, you know, flirt with a scarecrow. And she gets really close, like, what? She's doing horror movies. She's doing horror movie speak, where you talk really slowly in a hushed whisper, even though nothing scary's happening, and there's no reason for me to actually be talking like this, but I'm doing this because that's what the director told me to do. And she gets like, what did you say? Oh, how dare you? Like, just like that. I'm like, who talks like that? Like, even at this time period, because it takes place, I don't know, in the 30s, I don't know. So yeah, that stuff like that. It's a horror movie, especially one of these franchise horror movies. You expect that. It doesn't make it any less annoying for me though. But so yeah, that got on my nerves. And oh yeah, back to the formula I was talking about. Sorry about that. So yes, it would go really slow. Could be looking around, and she'll either notice something, and the music will go boom, and they go. Do that high rise thing as she slowly pans over, and then jump scare. Blah! Runs away. Monster doesn't kill him. A few minutes later, it's almost like a Pokemon thing where it's like the monster ran away. And it does this a lot in the third act, and it becomes pretty repetitive and pretty annoying. And I can understand, like, I'm being nitpicky with this. I don't know, like, I feel like my complaints are genuine, but if you saw these as nitpicking, like, okay, fair enough. If you like this movie, okay, it's like, of these Hollywood franchised horror movies, this is one of the better ones, I'll say. Although I'm still not gonna call it good. It's just acceptable. Mostly because of the parts that actually do work. And there are a few that actually legitimately do work. Even though I'm not quite sure the ending makes any sense. But again, whatever. It is what it is. But before all this, I do want to talk about one last scene, and I'm probably going to wrap up, because again, I can't think of what else to really talk about outside of what I already talked about. There is one great scene that I thought was legitimately really good. And one, it provided a sense of levity, and two, it said exactly what everyone in the audience was thinking. Where Ouija girl figures out something's going on, and she realizes the doll's connected to it. So she says, like, fuck this, I'm getting rid of the doll. So she carries the doll out to this well in the middle of the field. And this, like, the main Catholic sister who's running this thing sees her from the window and chases after her, like, what the hell are you doing? And she goes, this doll is evil, I'm getting rid of it. Drops it in the well. And again, it does the formula I just talked about, where you're like a splish. And he goes like, hmm? And she, like an idiot, this girl just goes, huh? Like right over the well, and naturally goes, jump scare, grabs her, starts pulling her down, and again, fails miserably at killing her. She pulls sister pulls her out, and then she quickly, to give credit where credit's due, she was quick on her feet, closes the lid to the well, and they both gotta like, okay, what the fuck's gonna happen? And then the lid starts rattling, and the sister, and this is my favorite moment of the movie, where the sister goes, what is that? And the little girl goes, who cares? Run! And they both take off running. It's just like, okay, that was pretty good. So that was like the one genuinely great moment of the film. That was like the best scene in the movie. The rest of it's just kind of meh. You know, you know what you're getting yourself into. I just like, because again, I don't get why this demon couldn't kill these little girls faster, because she killed the parents like fucking that. Like, it didn't matter. And there's a reference early on, like they're kind of figuring out what this ghost is up to, and he goes like, well, why did I see this one thing? That clearly wasn't a girl or a little ghost or anything like that. He goes like, well, maybe he's just trying to scare you. Okay, why? What does that accomplish? What does that do? Like, that was a question I actually would have liked answered. Like, why does it care about scaring people? Does it do it just for shits and giggles? What's the purpose of that? Why does it care? The more I'm talking about it, the more awake I'm getting. That bothered me. I was like, okay, what's the purpose of that? What does that accomplish? What does that do? If you're gonna say that, you need to back it up with something other than just like, it does that because it wants to. I mean, like, even Stephen King's It gave some of a loose reason why it was wasting its time scaring these children. And there's a couple scenes, and again, like, the reason the demon is scarier than any other, like, creature or monster purpose in the movie is because he's the only one that uses practical effects. Whenever he uses CGI splooge to transform the little girl into some giant monster thing, it's not scary, because again, I know it's not there, but at least I can see the demon is there. It kind of reminds me of the monster from Jeepers Creepers, from what you can see of it. And that effect, it works, but when it just goes like the breaking bones, the extending, like, it's like, that's not scary. That's just, it's a cartoon. And it's not done in a clever way, like The Conjuring 2 did it with was not the Wicker Man. The Stick Man, whatever the hell it was called. Like, that was a legit, because they used it like it was a stop motion. That was a legitimately clever, creepy way to go about it. Now, I'm not saying this movie's not without its clever moments, but they're kind of few and far between. Like, I don't know, like, if you're really desperate for a horror movie, with at least a couple scares, I guess this will do for you. I'm sure some people like it better than I do. Because I can see this getting an audience. I can see people liking this. But, I don't know, for me, it was just meh. So I'm going to go with trailers real quick. A lot of them I've talked about already, but there's one in particular I want to talk about, because I was like, oh, this looks insultingly bad. This looks like, wow, fuck you. Oh, hello, I get it. Just notice on Facebook, not important. Okay. So, yeah, got Geostorm, couldn't care less. You know, I'm just going to go right to the two that I gave a shit about. Three, I'll take it back to three I need to talk about. The first one is a movie called Friend Request, which, okay. I haven't seen a movie this insultingly cynical, at least a horror movie this insultingly cynical, since that fucking one on the Skype movie, which I don't remember what that was called. But this one just looks insultingly bad. Like, this one, like, the whole concept is, I feel like somebody watched that South Park episode about Facebook, and how the person with no friends on Facebook was weird friend stock, and decided to make a horror movie around that idea, because the whole concept of this is that it's all about Facebook, which already you lost me, and this girl gets a friend request from someone. It's like, ew, she has 0 friends? Oh my god. Ew, okay, I guess I'll be nice and accept this. And then she does something without her one time. She goes like, I thought we were friends. And then she unfriends her. Oh my god. In a moment of horrifying despair, she kills herself and then starts haunting her through Facebook. It's like, did you post this video on your timeline? It says the police officer. I don't know how it got there, said the crying girl. It looks so stupid. I know I'm gonna have to fucking see it. Fuck. So yeah, there's that. And then we go on the other end of the spectrum where it's like, this could be amazing. If it's done right, because it's a movie called Happy Death Day. And right off the bat, I'm like, this movie could be amazing. Like, it really could. Like, if you combined Groundhog Day with a with a murder mystery plot, you'd get this movie. And it's based on the trailer, I'm kind of 100% down for it. Because I wasn't at first. I was like, oh god, another one of these stupid ass movies. And then they reveal a concept where a girl wakes up one day and realizes that somebody is gonna kill her that night. And every time she dies, she wakes up in the same morning the day she dies, which is also her birthday. I was like, okay, if you're gonna do a Groundhog Day concept, I'm actually totally down for this. Because it looks like it does what Groundhog Day does. Which is like, first you figure out what the hell's going on, then you try to figure out how to stop it, then you realize you can't stop it, so you might as well have some fucking fun with it, and then you actually try to figure out who's actually killing you so you can actually stop it. So, like, it actually looks like it could be a clever use of the Groundhog Day concept, and I'm actually totally down for it, because it could actually be a lot of fun. I also feel like it's a movie they don't know how to advertise, because it plays up as a horror movie, yet there's clearly elements of comedy and slapstick to it, too, so... Especially the cliffhanger at the end of the trailer, where it shows her driving away in a hospital gown, presumably just got away from the killer, just going, yeah, I did it, I got away, I finally saved from this fucking day, and then she gets pulled over. Great punchline. That is such a good punchline. And then to make things better, the cop gets run over by a random ass car, and the killer's still there, just like, God fucking damn it. So, like, on that note, that's actually really clever. So, that one I actually do legitimately really want to see, and that comes out around my birthday. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one might actually be pretty fun. And the rest, the only one left to talk about is Jigsaw, which this one looks kind of weird, because obviously it's trying to revive the Saw series, but it also feels like it's trying to parody itself at this point, like it's trying to be self-aware, and I don't know if that works for this series. But other than that, like, it looks like just a standard Saw movie, but it looks like they couldn't even get, like, the original voice of Jigsaw to come back. Or, I don't know, did he die? I don't think so, but, I don't know. It looks like a torture porn movie. I didn't saw the original series, I saw the first one. It's not for me, it's not my style of movie. I can see where it can get its audience, but it's not one of mine. So I'm not really looking forward to it, but I'll still watch it. And yeah, that was the only ones that we're talking about. So, Annabelle Origins, it's okay. I guess it scratches your horror itch if you need it. Other than that, it's just meh. So I think that's all I got. I'm gonna take off because I'm gonna go do a quick errand before I head home. But later this week, I gotta check out The Hitman's Bodyguard, which I'm actually looking forward to. It has a lot of great reviews on Rotten Tomato right now, but you know what? I've disagreed with Rotten Tomato before, so I'm gonna go in that with an open mind. And Lucky Logan is another one I gotta say. That one's getting pretty good reviews, so I'm looking forward to that one. And then what else is there? So apparently there's a Brigsby Bear movie out right now that I'm kind of curious about, because the trailer made it look really interesting, actually. So that'll probably check out next week, because I know Grant wants to see that one. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for watching. See y'all later.